Hello my dear kids, welcome to the channel. This is your Annapurna ma'am. I hope you all are keeping well and doing wonderful. Now kids, I have something different for you today. I'm going to tell you a story. The story is of a good king. Now kids, the story is taken from the Panchtantra. Panchtantra is the collection of popular Indian animal fables. Now it is said to have been written by a Brahmin scholar named Vishnu Sharma, who used these fables, these stories to educate three princes, to make them wise and good kings. So children, the story is of a lion, a big and strong lion who lived in a forest. Now one day this lion, he himself crowned him as the king of the jungle. Now after this, all the animals started coming and visiting him. They brought so many gifts for the lion, the king of the jungle. Now this made the lion so happy and pleased, but at the same time he became more greedy. He wanted more and more gifts from the animals. Now, I hope children all have seen a lion. The roaring of a lion is so scary, right? Okay, now one day a thought came to the mind of the lion. He wanted to have some courtiers for himself. Now again he thought, who would prove to be the best courtiers for him? So he called a fox and asked the fox, Mr. Fox, would you like to be my advisor? Now he said to the fox that I have heard you are very wise and clever. So would you like to be my advisor? The fox said, Your Majesty, yes, definitely. I would be happy to be your advisor. And he was appointed as the advisor for the king. Now next, the lion called a leopard and asked, Mr. Leopard, would you like to be my bodyguard? You are so fast, moving and alert. I would like to keep you as my bodyguard. The leopard said, yes, I would be happy to. So immediately he was appointed as the bodyguard for the king, the lion. Now finally he called a crow. He asked the crow, Mr. Crow, would you like to be my messenger? The crow agreed and he was appointed as the messenger for the king of the jungle. Now all the three courtiers, they were so happy and they promised to the king, to the lion, that they would be always loyal to the king. And even the king, the lion, promised them that he would always protect them and always give them enough of food. Now days passed by. The three courtiers always followed the lion wherever he went. They always hunted animals for him to eat. They were always obedient and loyal to the king. Now one day the crow came and asked the lion, Dear king, have you ever tasted a camel's meat? The lion said, No, I've never seen a camel before. Could you get a camel for me? The crow thought for a while and said, Yes, there is a desert nearby and camel lives there. So the king liked to take the advice of the other courtiers and he called them and asked them too. Did they know anything about the camels or the deserts? But the fox and the leopard, they didn't know anything about the deserts or the camels. But they didn't want the lion to think that they were less wise than the crow. So they all agreed, yes, let us go to the desert and find out. Now, when they all agreed to go to the desert, the next morning they all got ready and set off for the desert. Now, after walking, traveling for a few distance, crossing the shady forest, the lion was so tired. It was a hot, sunny day. The lion was thirsty now. His paws were paining in the hot, burning sand. He could no longer walk. And suddenly he shouted, "Stop! Stop! I don't want any camel's meat. I'll just have to go back to the forest. Let's go back." Now, all the courtiers were frightened. How will they take back their king to the forest, their home? The leopard wanted to run away from there, but the crow wanted to wait and watch. The fox, as he was wise and clever, he had a plan. He had an idea. He said, "Just wait. Wait here. I'll bring some help." So he ran off into the desert. And the fox, there he saw the camel, a camel in the desert. Now, the fox said to the camel, "Dear friend, please come with me. Our king has invited you to stay with him in his court." Now the camel didn't know anything about this. He said, "Who is a king? I don't know anybody, any king. I only know my master, for whom I carry loads across this desert." The wicked fox said, "Our king is a lion. He has killed your master, and now you are set free. You are free to go anywhere. So please come with me. Our king has invited you to his court." Now, after hearing this, the camel, the innocent camel, was ready to come with the fox. And they reached the courtiers and the lion where they were waiting for the fox. Now, seeing this, the lion was so pleased. For the first time, he saw a camel, and even the other courtiers too. They were so happy to see a camel because they are going to eat the camel's meat at the end. Now, when the camel reached there, the fox said to the lion, "Your Majesty, please sit on the camel's back, and he will help us to reach our forest, our home." So immediately the tired and the thirsty lion, he jumped onto the back of the camel. And even the fox and the leopard sat there along with the lion on the camel's back. Now the camel helped them to reach their home, the forest. They were so tired after that, and they were so hungry. Now the courtiers, they knew what to do because they are going to eat the camel. And they started to look at each other's face and smiled. But the lion came to know what was going in the minds of the courtiers, because they wanted to eat the camel. The lion had a different plan. He thanked the camel for saving his life. He said, "Thank you, my dear friend. You have brought me safely to the forest. I shall protect you as long as I live. You can be with me in this forest." By hearing these words of the lion to the camel, the other courtiers were so angry. They said, "We were loyal till now to the lion, But how could he say to the camel that he will protect him? We are going to eat the meat. How could he protect the camel now? But they were so scared of the lion that they couldn't say anything. They just kept quiet. Now, after this, the lion ordered the courtiers, "Go and find some food for me. I am so hungry. I want to eat something." Now, the courtiers went on in search of some food for the lion. But on their way, they had different plans and they were discussing among themselves how to make the camel himself offer as food for the lion, so that after eating the camel's meat, even the courtiers will have a share of the camel's meat. Now, so the clever fox had an idea. He shared this idea with the other courtiers and they all agreed. So they came back to the lion and said, "Dear king, we couldn't find any food. We couldn't hunt any animals for you today. You can have us as our food." So they started to offer themselves one by one as food for the lion, because they didn't want the king to go hungry. Now, after seeing this, the camel couldn't stay behind. He even offered himself as food for the lion. As soon as the camel offered himself, the courtiers were ready to pounce upon the camel. But the king stopped them. "Just stop. Now, the lion said, "I'm going to eat." "Yes, that's right, but I shall obey your words because you are so obedient to me and loyal to me. But I will eat one by one in the order how you have offered me as food." Now, by hearing this, the courtiers were shocked because they offered themselves before the camel. And now, after hearing this, they started to run away from there. They ran fast as they could. They just ran away from there, except the camel. The camel stood in front of the lion was ready to be eaten by the lion. Now, by seeing this, the lion had a hearty laugh. He said to the camel, "I know who is really loyal to me. As you were loyal to me, you didn't run away. You offered to me as food." And he was so thankful for getting such a good friend for himself. The lion thanked the camel and said, "Thank you, my friend, for once again for saving my life. You shall be with me here as long as I live, and I shall protect you always." And even the camel was so grateful and thankful to the lion, the king of the jungle. So now, dear kids, what did you understand? What did you learn from this story? That is, in whatever position we may be, we must always try to be good and kind to everybody. We should never ever forget them, the ones who has helped us at the times of our needs. Okay? And we should be always loyal, honest and true to everybody. So children, I hope you all have enjoyed the story of the good king, the lion. He proved to be a good and kind king towards his courtiers and other friends. So children, keep writing to me, keep subscribing to the channel for more such videos, and see you in my next video. Till then, take care, bye bye, and stay safe and feel safe.